What's up, y'all? Hey, so I get a lot of questions talking about how did you acquire a property 5 months after you got out of prison? And the answer to that is a lease with an option to purchase. And then another question I always get is, how did you acquire $500,000 worth of real estate with no money out of your pocket? And the answer to that is a lease with an option to purchase. So then the $1 million question is, what is a lease with an option to purchase? And that right there is the key to understanding how you get into real estate with little money. So that's what I'm gonna explain to you. A lease with an option to purchase is basically the seller being the bank. So that's how I got into real estate. My landlord, he was the seller, and he loaned me the money to buy his property. All right. So basically, I'm paying him instead of paying a bank. And that was how I got in. So in a lease with an option contract, what it is just stating that you will pay the seller this much money by this date. All right. That's it. That's all. That's the contract. So you and him sign the contract, and then you fulfill it. All right. He won his money 3 years from today. That's how we did it. So I gave him a down payment, which was about $10,000. I gave him the down payment, and he gave me 3 years to come up with the other $85,000. So during that time, I just paid him every month. So he had a mortgage with the bank probably. And what happened was I was paying him, he was keeping the extras and then paying the bank. So that's how it works. So he had nothing to do with the property anymore. It was all on me. And I fixed the plumbing, I kept the tenants in there and all of these things. And I just paid him his money every month until I built up my credit. I got a bigger down payment, and I had 2 years on my job. Those are the things the bank want to see whenever you going in there asking for money. So if you don't have 2 years on your job, if you don't have a decent credit score or a down payment, it's going to be hard for you to get a loan. So that's what we did. And then the second part, what I really want people to understand is how I got $500,000 worth of properties with zero money out of my pocket. Zero money out of my pocket. Yes, I know if I get a loan, I have to pay it back. If I use a credit card, I have to pay it back. But the thing that they saying that most people don't understand is the tenant is paying you back. So you're paying your credit card, you're paying the loan back. So I want to break that down. So I went to it was a deal I had on the table, $500,000, 11 houses. So the person brought it to me, and they said, "Hey, do you want to buy these houses?" I was like, "Man, I ain't got $500,000, and I don't have the 20% down that the bank would want." All right. So how do you get these properties and you don't have the money? What you do is something called creative financing. Creative financing is whenever you get creative. So what we did was the seller loaned me some money, and then a hard money lender loaned me some money, right? And then the rest of it, I used my credit card and a loan. So I needed to come up with like $20,000 out of my pocket. The seller gave me $80,000 credit towards the building, and then a hard money lender gave me $470,000 as a loan. So I had to come up with $20,000 out of my pocket. I don't keep $20,000 around, so where I'm gonna get it from? I'm gonna do the next best thing. I'm gonna go to the bank and ask them for some money. So I went to the bank, I asked them for some money, and I used a credit card. Yes, you can use a credit card to buy real estate. That's why credit is so important, because things like that, when you don't have the cash, a lot of people don't have $5,000, $10,000 sitting around. So use your credit card. Go and borrow some money from a bank or something like that. And that's how I did it. I used other people's money to get these deals, right? So I have the tenant pay me back every month. Even though I owe all of this money, the tenant is paying me and I'm paying the money back and keeping the extras, kind of like what I did with the duplex. That's how I started in real estate, and that's how I acquired so many properties using other people's money. Uh, so a lease with an option to purchase is basically you being a middleman, right? I'm being the landlord, the middleman, the person who just making the deals happen, making everything happen. I pay the bank back and they happy. The tenants is happy when I keep their water and stuff running. All right. So that's how all of that go. So whenever you look for a deal, you riding down the street. Let's say you just riding and you see a house that's for sale by a owner, or you see a house that's for sale. Period. You gonna contact them and say, will you do seller financing? So that means that they'll be the bank. They'll finance it for you. They'll be the one that you pay back instead of a bank. So sometimes it's issues like debt to income ratio. Debt to income ratio is basically meaning that you owe for a house, a car, a personal loan, and you only make enough to pay all of that back. So your debt to income ratio is what matters when you're buying a house. So if your debt to income ratio is 100, if you make $1,000 a month and you owe $1,000 a month, the bank gonna be like, no, because we won't get our money back. So that debt to income ratio is very important when you're going to get a house. So 30% is what the banks is looking for. They want to see 30 to 50% of your debt being what your income is. So whenever you're trying to get these houses, that's very important to look into. All right. So whenever you're riding down the street and let's say it's for sale by owner, what I did was I gave him 10% down. Some sellers might want 20% down. Some might want 5% down just to get out of the deal. People go through divorces where they just trying to get out of the deal. People got properties that they just don't want because they broke their leg and they can't fix it up. Those are two deals that ran across my table before, so that's why I'm saying that. So whenever you finding these deals, it's all different kind of reasons that people are selling and all different type of numbers that they gonna want, right? So you come up with the number, you sign a contract, a lease with an option, and they'll give you a certain amount of time to pay them back. If they want the whole thing at the end of the payment, then that's called a balloon payment, all right? But if they want it over like 30 years, that's gonna be a regular mortgage, right? And that's how I got the $500,000 deal. I got a regular mortgage. I pay him every month, right? My tenants pay me, I pay him. So those is some of the things that a lot of people just don't understand. I got a copy of a purchase agreement on my website, www.fromprisontoproperty.org, where you can get the purchase agreement, read through it, look at it, and take it to somebody. Be like, hey, I want to buy your house. Here go 5%, 10% down. You give it to them, y'all sign it, and that's a binding agreement. You can take it somewhere like the library and get it notarized, and then it's a legal document. So they can't steal the house and you can't run off with the house either, right? It's a legal document. So those are some of the questions that I had got yesterday that I just wanted to go live and answer because they jumped in my inbox asking me the questions, and I wanted everybody to hear these answers because we don't know who need to hear it. We don't know who is helping. So I just wanted to go live and show y'all that. But it's called a lease with an option to purchase. And that's how I got into real estate with zero money out of my pocket. Or that's how you can get into real estate with minimum down payments or no credit or whatever your situation may be. So if you got any questions, just ask me. Ask me. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help y'all understand this stuff because real estate is the only way that we can truly get out of poverty. And the reason I push real estate so hard is because over time, we spending our money. We spending it on clothes. We spending it on shoes. We spending it on something. The money is coming in and it's going out at the same pace that it's coming in. But if you took that money and put it towards something that you can still keep the money plus make money off of, that's a win-win for everybody. So you get the money, you pay the mortgage, yes, but you still have that money because you're paying down the mortgage. It's like a piggy bank. You taking the money, putting it into a mortgage. Now you own this house and you're gonna have it forever. So that's one reason why I encourage real estate, because it's a savings account for real. For 30 years from now, whenever you ready to retire, you got something to retire with. And then another reason I push investment real estate is because every month you getting paid. So if I owe a $5,000 mortgage and I make $7,000, I'm making $2,000 every month. 2,000 is going into my pocket. And then I'm still paying down what I owe the bank. So I'm getting paid 2 times, right? Just on that transaction, I'm getting paid 2 times. And then another way you're getting paid is when houses go up in value. So you bought this house for $50,000, you paid on it, you got paid from a tenant, and now it's worth $70,000. So now you done got paid 3 times from one single investment. Yes, I know it's going to be roofs go out. I know it's going to be plumbing issues and furnaces and all of these things. But over time, that money is going to be like your savings account, and you're going to have something for whenever it's all over with. Whenever you can't work no more, now you still got some form of income coming in. And that's why I preach real estate so tough. Yeah, I did the stock market and all of that stuff, and it's some good money in that. But I wouldn't advise you to go out there and get in the stock market, because you can lose everything and won't have nothing. With real estate, if you make a bad deal, at least you still getting the income coming in from your property. So that's why I encourage real estate so much. So if you got any questions about it, if you want to reach out to me, inbox me, I answer your questions, help you out, help you with your personal situation, because everybody's situation is different. Some of us got good credit, some of us don't. Some of us got a down payment, some of us don't. So every situation is different. So your situation is different from the next man. So if you got personal questions, ask me, and I answer them, help you get some income coming in forever. And that's what it's all about. It's about getting that income coming in forever, so we don't have to break our back at these jobs, going in there working for minimum wage, right? We can have this money work for us, or we can sit home, we can be asleep and still making money. And that's the name of the game. Residual income, getting paid forever, taking the dollar and making it last forever. And that's the definition of wealth, whenever you can make the money last for a long time.